Hey, it's Drew Bentley here with Learn Guitar with Drew. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 iconic guitar riffs that use the little finger a lot. This is a problem with beginner guitar players. A lot of guitar players just don't want to use their little fingers. Today we're going to try to remedy that a little bit. But first, thank you so much for checking out the video. Okay, so as a guitar teacher, I can tell you that I see a lot of students come in that just don't want to use their little fingers. A position of guitar is basically 4 frets with a hazy fret on either side. So sometimes we have a 5-fret span, but even at 4 frets, our little finger should be used. So these 3 riffs use the little finger an awful lot, and I thought they'd be good to kind of get your little finger into the game if you're not using it enough. So the first riff is Crazy Train, this awesome Randy Rhoads Ozzy Osbourne guitar riff. Let's take a look at how this works. So we're starting in the 2nd position. I'm using all of my fingers when I do this. So one thing that might be helpful when you're first learning how to play a riff is to break it into 4 sections. Or 2 sections if the riff is shorter. So for example, for this riff, I'm going to play the first 4 notes 3 times in a row. I'll do the same thing for the next 4 notes 3 times in a row. Same thing for the next section. And the last section. So if you do this approach, you can utilize 4 sections first and then break it into 2 sections. Do that 3 times in a row. And then the second part 3 times in a row. Ultimately put it all together. So let's go through how this riff works. We're going to play. So it's low E2 twice, A4 to low E2, A5 to low E2, A4 to low E2, A2, low E5, low E4, low E5, A2, low E5, low E4, open low E. So when you're doing these riffs with your little finger, or any finger for that matter, try to stay in your lanes. You notice I'm not flopping my hand around like a fish on the shore or something, fish out of water. I'm keeping my fingers in their respective lanes, much like if you were swimming or something, or driving your car in the traffic lanes, so that my fingers have an ergonomic sort of motion. Everything's smooth and fluent. I'm not picking my fingers really far off the fretboard, kind of keeping everything close by. So that's the first riff. That will help get your little finger involved. The next riff we're going to take a look at is this song called Last Resort, Papa Roach song. Last Resort not only uses the little finger, but it's going to switch positions as well. So it's a little trickier still. It goes from the 4th position to the 3rd position to the 2nd position. A position is basically where your first finger starts. So the 4th position, first finger's on the 4th fret, 3rd position, first finger's on the 3rd fret, 2nd position, first finger's on the 2nd fret. Simple as that. So here's how this one works. This one's a bit more difficult than the last one. Here's how the riff goes. That's the first 4 notes. Again, we'll break the riffs into sections of 4 if possible, and then 2, and then 1. So 4 sections to practice it, and then break it in half, 2 sections, and then 1 complete riff. Maybe do it 3 times in a row for each section. So we have 4A7, 2D5, 1D4, 2D5, 1G4, 2D5, 1D4, 2D4. That's the first 4 notes. Now we're going to start with the second finger. You're going to roll from the D string on the 5th fret, roll into the A string on the 5th fret. 2A5, 2D5, 1D4, 2D5, 1G4, 2D5, 1D4, 2D5. And then we're going to shift again to the 3rd position. So now we have shifting now with your first finger on A3, so it's 1A3, 3D5, 3D4, 3D5, 1G4, 3D5, 2D4, 3D5. So that's, and then the last one, the last resort riff. First finger on A2, so it's 1A2, 45, 3D4, 45, 3G4, 45, 3D4, 45. So this gets all of your fingers involved multiple ways. Here it is. Now, you should probably alternate pick this riff. Notice how much finger independence is happening there. This is a great exercise to get your little finger involved, okay? So the 3rd riff is actually a keyboard song. We know it all super well, The Final Countdown. It's played an octave higher than when I'm playing it, but I think it's probably better for our purposes to play it an octave lower. It's a little easier to facilitate. That's our first little section. 1D4, 3G6, 1G4, 3G6, and back to D4. Here's the next part. So that's going to be 3G6, 1G4, 4G7, 3G6, 1G4. Put those together, we have the 3rd and 4th fingers have a really hard time separating themselves. 4G7, 3G6, 4G7, 1D4. That's 1G4, 4D7, 1G4, 4D7, 3D6, 1G4, 4D7. Put it all together. Okay, so that's a really cool riff to play. Here we go. Let's play all 3 riffs one at a time, and we'll take a look at how these sound. Okay, and last resort. And the final countdown. Okay, so there's 3 iconic guitar riffs to get your little finger involved in the game. You can start using your little finger all the time across the entire fretboard once you start to develop some independence between your 3rd and 4th fingers. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and I can't wait to see you at the next lesson.